Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Court is back in session. Welcome to another episode of The Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is the man who the FAA is going to hire as a bounty hunter to go after Harrison Ford, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Oh, he's no good to me dead.
Well, he's trying his best to be dead, apparently. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, man, he's having some run-ins there with the planes and whatnot.
He'll fly. He's pilot. Kind of.
Kind of? I mean, you know, Harrison, buddy.
Yeah.
You got what you wanted. Han is spoilers, no longer with us.
Yeah, I mean...
You're free now. Do what you want. I guess what he wanted to do is have a death wish as a pilot, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well,
when you reach that age, you can just do what you want, I guess. Just don't crash the plane into people, please.
Glad he was not hurt.
Yeah.
Glad the possibility of an apology Indiana Jones movie still exists.
Yeah.
Although, would you want another Indy movie?
I don't know.
I don't think. You know what? I can ignore Crystal Skull.
Oh, I do ignore Crystal Skull.
Yeah. So I'm good with the 3.
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't need them to necessarily, pardon the pun, like dig up Indy again.
Yeah. Of course, you know what happens. You know what could happen. Today they released the cast photo from the Han Solo movie.
Right.
This guy does Han Solo fairly well. Maybe we kind of shift him over.
Oh, okay. We just make him the new Harrison Ford.
Exactly.
Okay. I know nothing of this man's work, so I just hope he's a good Han to start. Yeah. So,
all right, here we are.
We are back.
New episode.
Well, we're back in your locale this time.
Yes, we are in Monte Carlo Studios in my basement.
Yeah.
Away from Cobra Island Studios.
My powers are weaker here. It's okay.
Powers weak, old man.
Yeah.
How was your week, sir?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Fairly mundane for the most part. I did some adulting today. Yeah. I went to...
I saw the Facebook post.
Did some Kitchen World investigations, looking to renovate my kitchen, and getting the ball rolling. And, oh my, the options are limitless, but so are the prices.
Yeah, Julie and I are looking to, with the income tax return, fingers crossed, hopefully. First year having a kid, so it's supposed to be...
There you go.
They're supposed to be good for that. We're hoping to upgrade refrigerator, stove, dishwasher, because all of them work terribly.
Well, it's time then.
Yeah, the stove and dishwasher came with the house.
Mm-hmm.
The refrigerator we got from my mother, and I would like the record to show that I protested getting this refrigerator vehemently.
Our sonographer has that on record.
I was overridden because the old refrigerator leaked. I was willing to deal with that over the pain in the butt this current refrigerator is. But I digress. Kitchen World, you're
man. Well, there's so many options. There's so many things.
Are you going to get a refrigerator that works with your phone, that has an app for your phone that the phone can tell you what's in the refrigerator?
If it's included at no extra charge, fine. But otherwise, I find that to be very silly.
Are you going to get the refrigerator with the LCD screen that shows you what is in the refrigerator?
Only if I can play Doom on it. And as we know, you can play Doom on anything.
Pretty much.
So
Doom and Tetris.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I'm just, getting the ball rolling, figuring out what kind of finishes I like and what kind of style I like. The guy's going to come over next week to measure my kitchen, and then that's when you really start putting pen to paper and figuring out what is possible.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting the ball rolling. I need a good project, and this is certainly a big project.
With the Sawzall, anything is possible. Or as my father commonly referred to it, the Solves-all.
My plan includes taking out at least half of a wall. But
you have shared your plans with me, and they're I think if you pull everything off the way you want to, you're going to have a nice area there.
That's the plan. Right now, the house is bisected, and I'm never on one side of it. It seems awfully silly and wasteful to me. Mm. I want to envelop the whole house. I want to partake in the whole house.
The whole thing, might as well use the whole
thing. Exactly. So that's going on. That went on today. And then other than that, man, just kind of licking my wounds a little bit from Saturday night's Long Cold Dark show.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Went fantastic. Performed. Well, there's a kayfabe, and then we're going to break kayfabe. Yeah. So let me give it to you from the kayfabe standpoint. From in kayfabe, the show was tremendous. I unfortunately lost my title to Mr. Grant from the Dreadnecks. I had a good run, but you see so little.
I've seen 2 of your matches, sir. You lost them both. You have misrepresented this show.
The first one
and your band.
The first one wasn't a match; it was a sneak attack, and the second one was a match. And guess what? You don't always win. There's no kicking out of the blue mist. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I had to eat the blue mist and went through a table. So at that point, it is what it is. I should point out that I did get several good licks in with the kendo stick, and he is still feeling them to this day. So I take some manner of pride in that.
Yeah, you know what helps heal that pain? The belt he's wearing.
All the prestige of the belt that we have.
Do you need me to come to the next show to get this belt back for you? Because clearly you aren't capable of holding it yourself.
I held it for 10 months. I think I'm holding it just fine.
Not from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you can sit there and talk smack, but like I said, Ric Flair won 16 world titles. That means he also lost the belt. So there will be another time. There will be another time and another place.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
But the concert itself, the performance.
Well, let's break kayfabe. So out of kayfabe, I want to work every Long Cold Dark show from now until eternity as a heel because it is the best.
Being the villain is always fun.
It's the best. I got to cut 2 promos during our set. Oh my god, dude. I crapped on Niagara Falls. I crapped all over the crowd. I crapped on the bands. It was the greatest thing ever.
Were you kind of, air quotes, speaking a little bit of truth in there?
The best villains always speak a little bit of truth. It was fantastic. I want to work every show that way. It's just so freeing. You could be such a jerk and just feel so good about it.
So, and this was the Dreadnecks CD release party.
Yep. Their 4th of 4 CD release parties. Those boys work.
Their new album is entitled
Beasts of Boredom. And if you guys have the Google machine, I recommend you look it up and check them out because they are very, 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 very good.
They are available at?
The interwebs.
Well, I mean, like, can you get them on iTunes? Do they have
it's on iTunes. It's on all
Help
the...
your friends out here.
I just said, put it in your Google machine. You'll find it. It's Dreadnecks, Beast of Boredom. It's Drednecks, just so you know, Dreadnecks. Check them out. They're fun. Next to us, they put on the best live show in town. When we're together, you got yourself an event on hand, as Grant and I proved time and time again. So you're going to get a fine show out of both of us. But yeah, we played fantastic also, by the way. I've mentioned this before, but the Evening Star in Niagara Falls, despite having poor attendance usually at shows, which is a shame, the room and Greg Rinker, who does the sound, and it's a great room, big stage, good lights, and he does the best sound, like possibly the best sound in town for a venue of that size by a lot, and so it's great. So, yeah, and the voice lessons are paying off, so that's always good too.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that is roughly the week.
Really? That was your whole week?
That's really it, man.
Didn't really do anything else, huh?
We had game night.
Yeah, I was about to say, hello, you had some chili.
The game night's always kind of just like understood. The chili was fantastic, by the way. I had 2 big bowls. Great big bowls. That's a 3 meat right there.
And I know how picky you are about food, so to hear you...
Picky?
Well, you've
I like what? Yeah, I know. I like good food, and you made a very, very, very good chili.
My 3 meat Guinness chili.
It was excellent.
So yeah, all right, cool, awesome.
How about you?
We had the game night and made the chili. With the important thing about the chili, this is going to sound weird, is to make it a day or so before you're actually going to serve it, so you can freeze it.
Yep. Yeah.
And then thaw it and reheat it.
Yep.
The freezing allows everything to bond, to fuse on a molecular level.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So Wednesday night was cooking a lot. One of the meats in the chili is bacon, And traditionally, I have pan fried
That's the traditional
bacon.
method.
This time around, we tried, just for purpose of counter space and whatnot, and stove space, because once again, stove is terrible, so two of the burners don't really work that well. This time we tried baking
Yes.
the bacon. We will never pan fry bacon again.
Baking bacon, without
is the
being
way to
redundant,
go.
that is
Yeah.
the way. It's great. It works well, saves space, less mess.
20 minutes at 400 degrees.
Yeah.
Perfect bacon.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. So yeah, did that. Then Friday came the game night. Watched Alan get just absolutely emasculated
Several times.
multiple times by your wife Jen.
Yeah.
Can I simply say 5, 5, 5?
I'll allow it this time. Yes. It's half the gimmick, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, we tried a new game for us.
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage.
I liked it.
It was a lot of fun.
I want to play it again.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
kind of like, I don't want to say Risk, but just for those of you who are not into the, and not to sound snobbish here, but it's what it is. Those of you who are not into the designer board game scene.
The nerd game scene is growing, and we are in it.
Yeah. And
So-
I believe Alan has a new game for us this week.
Excellent.
Tiny Epic Galaxies, which I've been
All right.
fiending to try out, so it looks a lot of fun.
You know what Blood Rage reminded me of, kind of?
What's that?
It reminded me of, like, Norse-themed Civilization.
Okay.
If you've ever
Yeah.
played Civilization on PC, it's kind of like that in board game form. You
Yeah,
get to
with a
upgrade
little bit of
units
risk.
with a little bit of risk, but
Yeah.
it's similar. You get your power tiles. It's all about overcoming units on the board, more or
Yep.
less, so you can kind of build a power tile and
Yep.
go to war.
And I played the game completely wrong. I upgraded everything right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But then learned you need to upgrade your rage ability before you upgrade your army so that you can actually do stuff with an upgraded army. So here I am with clearly the most powerful army on the board.
But you can't use it.
I can't do anything with
Yeah.
it. And
That's
I proved it was the most powerful army on the board with one fight.
This is true.
Yep. My fire monster, as I named him, Lawrence, devastated much. So yeah, that was pretty much the week. Nothing too crazy.
If there's nothing egregious, then everything's okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mentioned I started watching Enterprise.
Yeah.
This week. It's not as bad as I've heard.
Give it time.
It's.
I feel like it's going to
interesting.
get there.
I don't know. It's the same people who've been doing all the other Star Trek shows of the era, and they were all good.
Were they?
Yeah.
Voyager.
Voyager, I watched, like, over the past 3 years, this would be the last of the Star Trek shows that came out on TV in my lifetime that I've either watching or rewatching. I never saw all of Voyager, and then I just went through it from start to finish, and it was good. If you go from start to finish, it's good because the premise is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Next Generation was obviously the continuation of the main story.
Mm-hmm.
Deep Space Nine was kind of, Star Trek in the Wild West.
Right.
And still my favorite of all of them because, and I've said before, because they didn't have a ship for the most of it to get them in the situations, they had to develop the characters. So that is probably the most well character developed of the recent Star Trek shows. And Voyager was kind of lost at sea
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
And, Enterprise is before there was even a Federation. There's no Prime Directive. Like, they come across, in one of the early episodes, they come across a pre-industrial, pre-war planet. And they're like, let's go down and visit them. Let's make first contact with them. And it's like,
No.
the Prime Directive has not been established.
Right.
So you're seeing a lot of interesting things, like they don't have, the Enterprise doesn't have shields. Their torpedoes are very arcane compared to a lot of the stuff they run into. It's interesting. I'm like 7 episodes in. And I mean, it's interesting. I'm going to stick it. It's only 4 seasons. So
Let me know how it turns out.
yeah. And the design of the ship really grew on me.
Okay.
Is very sleek, very hot roddy looking, which I liked. So that was my week. Dear listeners, if you would like to tell us about your weeks, if you'd like to send us in any questions or comments to the show, which we do have some coming up, you can find us at these social media locations. You can follow us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources at our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, time to get to cross-examination.
Oh, boy.
Yep. And we're kind of returning to form with cross-examination.
All right.
Because both Jay and Alan have sent in questions. Now, we also have a third thing from another listener. Just make sure I don't forget that, because it's not an email. It's a Twitter message, so I want to make sure I get that. Who do you want to go first, Jay or Al?
Let us bring in...
We haven't heard from Alan in a couple
Let's
weeks.
bring in Alan.
All right. I'm still mad at Jay over pineapple, apple pen.
That's his job.
For Mr. Alan Waiters.
Bring it.
It's been a while, but I'm back.
It's been a while.
Much less masculine this time, Alan, after Jen got done with you.
My Lord.
Carl and Drew.
Yes.
Which power do you prefer to have? Which power would you prefer to have? Spider-Man's spider sense or Daredevil's radar sense?
Ooh.
I think we're kind of splitting hairs here. And I'm going to take Spider-Man's spider sense because I could still see.
Well, does the radar sense imply that I have to be blind? Can I have the radar sense and still have my sight?
It's unclear.
Okay, well, if I can
Daredevil's radar sense.
If I can keep the sight, well, if I can keep the sight, the radar sense all the way.
How would the radar sense work with sight?
So not only can I see things, but I can also sense everything around me. So if something's going to come up behind me, I can feel the air temperature change and the pressure, and I know all that stuff, and I can hear super far away and all that stuff.
No, you couldn't.
Sure you can.
That's his enhanced senses, not his radar sense.
Oh, yeah, we're really splitting hairs here.
I'm just saying. I'm going by the question, sir.
The radar sense is kind of all of his senses combined.
No, it's not. It's just it's a proximity sensor, essentially.
I don't think that's how...
Look at what radar is in the base.
Just because he calls it his radar sense doesn't mean it's literal.
Just saying.
Oh, okay. I've always interpreted it as like, all of his other senses combining into filling in the blanks for his sight, but whatever.
I will defer to you since you've read much more Daredevil comics than I have.
Okay.
So you're going to say the radar sense?
I would say that if I can keep my vision, I'll go with the radar sense. If I can't keep my vision, then spider senses obviously, makes sense. See?
That was so lame.
I know.
Drew.
Yes.
If you and Carl were to a festival of friendship.
Oh, no.
I'm assuming.
Oh, no.
You meant to say if you and Carl were
soon.
going to a festival of friendship.
Yeah.
What gift would you give Carl? Would you heel turn on Carl?
Oh, well, I'm not Kevin Owens, so I don't think I could do the heel turn on Carl. I'm not that heartless. What gift would I bring? I would find... This is kind of a spoiler alert, I guess. Not that I've actually gotten this, but down the road you might be thinking, I wonder if Drew's ever going to get that for me. Given the show that we do and Carl's preferred top dog billing superhero, I think a fitting gift in the Festival of Friendship for Carl would be finding a mint condition or nearest thereabouts crossover issue, the first crossover between Spider-Man and Daredevil.
I believe it was Daredevil number 3.
I don't know, but I'll trust you on that. But in any case, that seems like that would be a nice fitting gift for you.
Alrighty.
So...
No idea what a Festival of Friendship is?
Well, let's just say last Monday it did not end well for Chris Jericho.
Alrighty. Okay, Carl. If you were to reboot the Justice League movie, which story from the comics would you base it off of? I'm not necessarily sure if I would take a story for verbatim from the comics per se. I would just kind of hire Bruce, Tim, and Paul Dini. And I'd be like, and you know what? You're going to kind of roll your eyes, but I would kind of do the story from that they did in the initial New 52 relaunch.
The Dark Side story.
Invasion.
Sure, yeah.
I would do that just a lot better.
That's a natural place to want to go.
I would kind of take... Okay, yeah, this is what I would do. I would take the original story from the pilot episode of the Justice League animated series, swap out the White Martians, and put in Darkseid and the armies from Apocalypse.
All right.
And that's... Because that's all you need. You throw these characters in together. If you're doing a Justice League story, these characters are pretty well known, so you don't have to do a lot of. You have them already. There's the only origin story you should do is the origin of how they got together. We don't need to. We clearly don't need Batman or Superman's origin again.
Are you sure? I mean, how will people know how he decided to become Batman? How will they know? We've got to remind them.
So yeah, that's what I would do. Big action movie.
Cool.
So
do it to it.
All right.
I'd go more Morrisonian, but I would, of course. So,
Mr. Celestino.
Yes.
Would you do Rock of Ages?
He did Rock of Ages.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, would you do Rock of Ages?
Sure.
All right.
And the White Martians. I almost said White Russians.
Because Darkseid is.
Freudian slip, dude. All right.
All right. So, question for both of us.
Okay.
From Mr. J. Gelsomino.
Oh.
Which of these characters would you feel most safe going to their practice for services? Dr. Teeth for a root canal.
Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth of the Electrical Mayhem from the Muppet Show.
Okay. Yes. I'm sorry. Yep. I had to. I'm like, wait, Doctor Who from Marvel? What? No, Dr. Teeth. Okay.
Dr. Reed Richards for marriage counseling.
Okay.
Dr. Mindbender for new glasses.
Okay.
Or Dr. Strange for a vasectomy.
This is a deep pull here, friends.
Throwback.
Yeah, you're going to want to go out and listen to Omni Comics podcast for that kind of humor. I'll go get some marriage counseling with Reed, and I will probably not listen to most of what he says, but I'll know that going in. So my impression will be whatever Reed says, do the opposite.
Okay, I would probably go Dr. Mindbender for glasses.
Really?
Only because I do need glasses.
Would you trust that man with glasses?
Well, one of them.
Gonna rock the monocle, are you? I think you're gonna go in for get your vision checked. You're gonna come out brainwashed or something.
I would totally rock a monocle though. That's a fashion that needs to come back.
I think you can make that happen. As hipster as it is, you could try.
True. Okay. Question for me.
Yes.
Street Fighter has once again turned to you to help them out. Build a cross-promotion game of Street Fighter versus Jaws, because I'd buy that game 35 times over. Wow. Street Fighter versus Jaws.
Your roster can only be so big here.
Yeah.
On the Jaws side.
I mean, people complain about too many Shotos in Street Fighter. Ken, Ryu, Akuma, Dan.
What are they called?
Shotos.
Shotos?
Because they're originally in the story, their style was referred to as Shotokan.
Yes.
But now the story's been updated to give it kind of their own style. It's called Ansatsuken.
Oh, okay. I'll trust you.
I'm telling you, man, watch Assassin's Fist.
Okay.
So, yeah, the complaint with Street Fighter games is that there are too many Shotos. The complaint with this game might be there are too many Brodies.
You only need one Brody.
You can take Chief
Maybe
Brody.
two.
You could take Chief Brody.
Yeah, he's got to be in
killed
there.
a shark. You could take Ellen Brody.
She killed a shark too.
Her ultra would be just driving
the boat,
stabbing you in the neck with the boat.
Okay, that's it then. That you can't. No, the kid. Forget the kids.
Well, you can have the one kid who's special ability would be just to bleed on you with his arm that was bit off.
I think if they're that's a sign of weakness. You don't want them in the game.
Yeah, no, the other kid killed a shark in Jaws 3.
Come on, I always forget about Jaws 3.
Why do you forget about Jaws 3? It's the best one that's not Jaws 1.
Okay, I'll trust you.
I know that's a short mountain to climb, sir, but I'm just saying.
Can Michael Caine be in it?
Yes, Hoagie would be in it. Basically,
Quint? Gotta have Quint.
Oh, yeah.
And Richard Dreyfuss has to be in it too.
I suppose. Basically, the entire cast of Jaws 4 is going to be in it.
Okay.
Jaws 3, you're going to take the Brody kid and the two wildlife big game hunters.
Okay.
They'll be in there. From Jaws 2, you need a Dan character, so just pick any of the sniveling kids off the boat.
Poor Dan.
They can be in there.
All right, that's fair. Is Jaws in it?
And Boss.
Okay, I was going to say he can't be playable. Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I always got block low.
Okay, and then on the street, would there be a Street Fighter rod? Does it matter?
Yeah. Pick and choose.
Pick and choose. Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Blanca versus Jaws.
Yeah.
See,
yeah. Because see, you laid the breadcrumb. Now I'm going to follow the trail.
Go ahead.
You got Blanca in there.
Yeah.
How did they kill Jaws in Jaws 2?
They electrified him.
Electricity.
See?
Nice.
Can Blanca take a bath?
I would say yes, just as long as he doesn't, go.
Well, if he uses electricity in the tub, does he get shocked?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's the one generating it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, just checking.
You've watched those Blanca troll videos, right?
Yes, I have.
Things ever. Love those. So, yeah, there you go. Street Fighter versus Jaws.
Bring it on. Why isn't this happening right now? Capcom.
For the same reason Daily Bugle and Twin Cobras isn't happening.
Oh. These are money ideas, honestly.
Okay, Drew.
Yes.
If you had to choose one video game weapon to fight for your life, which would you choose of these options?
Oh, okay. Damn. If I had my choice. Okay, go on.
I'm gonna read them in reverse order that he listed them because the first one he listed is my favorite.
Okay.
Johnny Cage's autographed picture from Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
The box from Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
The banana peel from Mario Kart. Or the clear choice from the best Mario game ever, Mario Spray Gun in Super Mario Sunshine.
The banana peel is more of an annoyance more so than a real weapon of.
Yeah, it's no Blue Turtle show.
No. And Johnny Cage's friendship autographed picture isn't really a weapon of sorts.
Yeah, paper cut.
Yeah. Well, death by 1,000 paper cuts, I guess, maybe. But I'm going to go ahead and just go with the. Oh crap! I forgot what it was. Read those again for me.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The box. I'm going with the box.
The box.
Dude, you ever played Metal Gear Solid?
Of course.
You can't lose with the box unless you really suck.
Or unless you have the active camouflage after you beat through the game the first time.
Okay, fair enough. But still, the box, man. It's the ultimate weapon.
You're going wrong with... You got to get that pack.
The water
pack.
Why?
Because it's awesome.
Okay.
Super Mario Sunshine rocks.
It's a Mario game.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
I'll give it that.
Now we have a...
Don't forget your Twitter question.
Yeah, got up right here.
You told me to remind you.
I know, I didn't. I appreciate it.
Doing my job.
From a Twitter user Badgerfang at Mr. Bubonic sent us a message.
Hit me.
Says, hi, Gangarino. Quick question.
He's going all Flanders on us.
Yeah. Quick question. After you wrap up the Luke Cage recaps, you are going to do Daredevil Season 2.
That's correct. Well, that's the plan.
Yeah. That's got to be a mistake. Surely you should do Iron Fist as it launches. That way you'll be relevant and found by the folks looking for a podcast to accompany their current viewing. I totally understand your Daredevil podcast and so should address it, but you are already late to the party. You can be 13 weeks later. Just my 2 cents. Whatever you do, I'll be listening and spreading the word. Keep up the good work. Oh, and you're wrong about Rogue One.
Oh.
You said stormtroopers are useless.
Wait a minute.
I'd argue the stormtroopers on Jeddah were the most competent we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Badger Fang, we appreciate
Fair point.
The message.
Yeah, man. Thank you. He does bring up some sound.
There are some valid points.
There's some valid points there.
Yes. I mean, we are a Daredevil show.
We are. But we have expanded to be Netflix-centric.
Just a Daredevil show. When I came to you with the idea for this show, your first concern was, well, there's only 2 seasons of Daredevil. We're going to run out of stuff fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I've always approached this show that, yes, technically it's a Daredevil show, but Daredevil's the hook to kind of get you in.
Sure.
But ultimately, we are a geek culture show.
We got a gimmick, but we do break the gimmick a little bit sometimes.
We orbit around Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because that's our home base. But with there being only 2 seasons of Daredevil at this point, there's some other stuff we can go into, but
we are doing Luke Cage.
To keep going, we have to expand out. We've given you movie reviews, game reviews, things like that.
And we want to do more of that stuff.
We do. So I definitely understand this listener's concern. My only reservation about leaping right into Iron Fist is I want to give people a chance to watch it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it necessarily for people the day it's released. Yeah. Now, granted, Netflix dumps it on you all at once, so people will be spoiling it for each other pretty quickly, I think. But at the same time, there's people that take their time.
They might do 1 episode a week, and so we don't want to necessarily spoil that for them. But that being said,
it would be topical of us to do it and timely of us to do it.
Yes.
So
it will be topical and timely. We do basically we are so appreciative of our listeners who download us every week, listen to the show every week. We're doing this is a creative endeavor that you and I have taken on to kind of create something and put it out there.
Yeah.
Ultimately, stuff like this, there is an aspect of customer service to it.
Absolutely.
For lack of a better term. So, in that interest, we will put out, starting tomorrow after this episode drops,
okay,
we will put out a survey. We'll put the survey on our Twitter page and also on our Facebook page.
All right.
We will ask you, the listeners, what you want us to do next. Do you want us to go into Daredevil Season 2 next? Or do you want us to wait, do a couple one-off shows, and then go right into Iron Fist?
Just for the sake of collecting ample responses, maybe we should plan a couple one-off shows in between here before we decide what we're going to do.
All right.
At least one. At least one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I like this idea. Let's put it out there for the listeners, and if they can help us decide what we're going to do next.
Yep. Look for that survey today as of this episode's posting.
Yes. The Wednesday.
Which would be Wednesday. This is Tuesday that we're recording it.
Yep.
We'll put the survey out Wednesday. And you guys let us know what you want us to do next.
There you go.
All righty.
I like it.
That's it. Oh, and to comment on Mr. Bubonic's saying about stormtroopers being effective, how many were left standing on Jeddah again?
Well, nobody was left standing on Jeddah.
Yeah. Yeah, I seem
Thanks, Death Star.
I seem to remember stormtroopers falling down good all over Jeddah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's weren't many of them. Yeah, they were the same stormtroopers.
More of they're cannon fodder. That's okay.
More is effective.
They're there for looks and numbers. That's all they are.
All right. So cross-examination's done.
All right.
Let's crack open the case file. Drew.
Oh, you're laughing already at this.
Drew.
It's only been a week.
Drew, get the fire hose. Get the fire hose.
No, we got to bring in the chopper with the bucket.
Hose. Get to the chopper.
We need to do the whole. We have to bombard this inferno from the air because it's going out of control. It's out of control at this point.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's recap.
We just recapped it last week. There's more.
New stuff is coming to light.
Oh, my God. Go on.
So.
Yeah.
Last week, The Batman had lost its director, Mr. Ben Affleck.
Yes.
And there were also rumors that Affleck was stepping away from the role completely.
Oh, don't worry. That's coming. That's coming down the pipe, buddy.
And we had agreed that if that were to happen, that's the body blow. That's you release what you have and then put the rest of it on the shelf for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
That Friday, it was announced that
Matt Reeves,
Batman,
whatever his name is,
had reacquired a director.
Yeah.
Relatively quickly after Ben Affleck decided to leave, which you would expect with a project of that scope. They wouldn't have a problem finding a director. They begun negotiations with Matt Reeves to direct the Batman, and oh boy, did that end quickly.
5 days.
Not even.
Not
it
even
was
5 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he bailed out already. He jumped ship. He said, hey, I'm in. Oh, wait. No, I'm not.
Yeah. This is my. There hasn't been a lot of information said about this. This is what I'm thinking happened. Warner Brothers came to him and said, hey, we'd like you to take on the Batman. He was like, great, cool, awesome. Let's have a meeting about it and, see what you want to do and whatnot. And we'll see. And then Warner Brothers was like, hey, we got a director. And then Matt Reeves saw what they wanted to do and was like, no.
But, that's kind of surprising, though, because aren't they going back to a rewrite? Is that the rumor, too? They're going to rewrite the movie?
Yeah.
So if he can, if they're going to rewrite it anyway, why not just let the guy you picked to be the director help you out there and figure out what kind of story he wants to do?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that? Oh,
no.
Okay.
No.
So they're down another director.
Yep.
This is following a Flash-like trajectory at this point.
The score is 3-2 in directors that have left between Batman and The Flash.
Wow.
The Flash is still up by one director that has left.
Okay,
what really can we say at this point?
There's nothing much you can say. It's a disaster. It's a complete disaster. It's mind-boggling to me that this is. I don't get it. So Reeves is out.
Yes.
Has anyone else stepped in?
No one's been announced as of this recording.
I'm telling you now, the door to the Fleck leaving is open.
Yeah.
This is not good. Look, this is a man who already dug himself out of a bad superhero hole.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it wasn't that...
Not only just a bad superhero hole.
A career hole. It wasn't the Daredevil movie's fault that he ended up there.
Yeah,
it was a lot of outside
Daredevil,
of
Geely.
It was more, it wasn't even that. It was media oversaturation of the guy.
Yeah.
And it just burned him out. It burnt he burned too brightly, and then everyone chewed him up and spit him out.
Yeah.
And it was almost unfair, but
Yeah. And the whole Benifer thing,
right?
And whatnot, and
right.
Benifer 2, and and then he faded away, and then came back in a huge way as a director.
Right.
He directed The Town, which I haven't seen, but
it's a good movie.
Nothing but good things.
It's good.
About.
Good flick.
Argo, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but
Argo was good.
But he won an Oscar for the damn thing. So yeah, so basically,
and so Warner Brothers comes to him and they decide to make him their Robert Downey Jr.
Right, which is a good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a very good move.
Yeah, like, okay, we have one movie out right now, but we're gonna build the whole thing around Batman because Batman.
Of course, because Batman.
And yeah, it just hasn't. I'm like, yeah, they've got a Justice League movie. We're going to have a Justice League movie,
for better or worse.
Again, at this point, there's nothing that can be really said that we haven't already said.
If Justice League,
it's a dumpster fire that keeps burning.
If Justice League does poorly, and notice I said if, not when. I'm being generous now.
You want to say when?
In my heart, it's when, but I'm going to say if to be nice because there's a chance that it's good. If it doesn't, though, if it's bad, he's gone. I think he's going to take his ball and go home.
Yeah,
because I don't think this man wants to dig himself out of another career black hole.
Yeah,
no way. He's already got out once.
Yep,
he ain't going back.
I think it's like I said. If they pull off Wonder Woman, and then Justice League is not as bad as we're pretty sure it's going to be.
Yeah.
Then they can move away from. Then they're kind of done with Zack Snyder. It's like I said here last week or the week before. You get Wonder Woman right. You fix Batman, Superman. You can course correct. There is a slim chance. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But there is a slim chance that this can still turn around. It's all, to me, it's all dependent on Wonder Woman.
Then I am going to go ahead and maintain my healthy dose of skepticism, because
that is, from what I understand, Wonder Woman is the first post 100% Snyder influence.
That's fine. I'll let's see. Let's wait and see. But oh boy,
so yeah,
it doesn't look good. Oh, and while we're discussing Warner Brothers and their very curious decisions about their DC film properties, do we want to talk about the other big one that they threw out there? Oh, you didn't hear about this one, or maybe you did and you forgot. Did you hear? Number one, would you believe me if I told you that they want to make Suicide Squad 2?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
So,
right, no, I have some thoughts on this. But,
so
but
if you were to say, it didn't work out so good with David Ayer with the first one, there's a lot of talk about what the movie that he made versus the movie that they wanted, and then versus the editing and how it all worked out. And let's just say it didn't really go the way anybody planned. So, okay, we're going to try again. And it's because we're Warner Brothers, we can't just, pick a guy that, makes sense and let him do his thing. We got to make a splash, and we got to be crazy with it, because we're Warner Brothers and we're crazy. We're not like those Marvel guys. We're crazy. We're edgy. Okay?
Yep.
They allegedly...
Oh, it's been confirmed.
Okay.
It's been confirmed. It's not confirmed that he's doing it. It's confirmed that they are in talks.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Here's
what I want to say about that.
Yes, go on.
Mel's had some troubles.
Yeah.
I believe in second chances. I believe in redemption.
That's all fair.
Where he is personally, I don't know. I'm not going to comment on. If he's kind of turned his life around, all the better for him.
Sure.
I think, if we can get good old fashioned Mel back, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
If we get Lethal Weapon Mel back and Mad Max Mel back, that's a good thing. All right. So his social
Maverick
issues,
Mel.
Oh, Maverick Mel.
Yeah.
That's like peak Mel.
Yeah.
Maverick. Oh, God, that movie's great.
Right?
I love that movie.
I know.
Social issues aside, and I'm not saying that to belittle his social issues.
Oh, no, they're big.
That's something
that was very public when that went down.
Oh, yeah. He's a good director.
He is a good director.
He's nominated for directing again this year. This will be, I think, his third nomination.
The guy's good.
He won
no
for
question.
Braveheart. Freaking Braveheart.
I know, dude. Look, you don't got to sell me on his directorial prowess.
Yeah,
but again, isn't it an edgy, like, it's sensational? Okay, you know the term stunt casting.
Yeah,
this is stunt director picking.
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
Just pick someone
and if memory
reliable
serves,
without stink on them. That's all. That's all you got to do.
I know. I get that. And also, if memory serves, he said kind of some disparaging things about the current superhero movie trend.
Then why are you asking this guy then?
I don't know. Dude, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, you know what? That sums it up, actually.
Warner Brothers.
What is in the water in Warner Brothers, dude? They sound like a terrible
Nothing
company
good.
to work for. It sounds awful. It just sounds like a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Outside of DC, what do they got? What else do they put out?
Outside DC, most of their movies are like, I'm sure they're...
Do they have any big franchises? Like, is Harry Potter over there? They got Harry Potter?
Over there.
Okay, well, there's that. I don't care about that, but whatever. Okay, so they're making money.
They have... It's funny. They have The Hobbit, but they don't have Lord of the Rings. It's one of those...
That's odd. Okay.
It's one of those rights things. So, yeah.
I don't know, man.
They're Warner Brothers. They got their stuff. So, but yeah, they're not.
Something's wrong there.
AT&T, do us a favor. Sell DC. Sell DC.
They won't, but we can hope. But
All
they
right.
won't.
So last bit of news.
Yes.
Drew, tell the people about, educate the listeners.
I can try.
About a series that's not, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's an old series, but it's not recent.
Okay.
A comic series called Scalped.
Scalped. Oh, man. Jason Aaron, Aram Guerra. Scalped is amazing. Scalped is a Vertigo series, so not for kids, folks. About an Indian reservation and a undercover cop who is from the reservation who goes home essentially undercover for the FBI and the dealings within the reservation, which is run by a corrupt chief named Chief Red Crow who owns the casino. He's a gang boss essentially. It is a very gritty and brutal world that we're talking about, and the ties within these characters are deep rooted.
Yeah.
And it is fantastic. It is a great series that pulls you in a lot of directions, and there's not a lot of real good guys in it. It's great. It's fantastic. And yeah, Scalped is tremendous. I recommend it highly.
I got halfway through the series.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, I love the series.
Yeah.
It was really great. But I think there was something going on in my life at that point where I didn't need that story
Okay.
just then. I needed something a little more hopeful.
Okay.
A little
Fair
brighter.
enough. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that 'cause that's just
that's
where
okay.
sometimes like there's certain stories you need and certain stories that even though they're good, you don't necessarily need them at that time. So I think
I feel you.
But no, Scalped was, from what I read, it was fantastic. They're doing a television series.
That is a great idea.
On a network I have never heard of.
WGN, I believe.
WGN America.
Okay.
America. They have cast the lead character, Mr. Alex Mraz.
He's going to play Bad Horse?
He's playing Dashiell Bad Horse.
All right.
So there's a picture of
Yep.
the gentleman.
And I believe he is part Native American, is he not?
I hope so.
I've read that he is, so that's good.
With this series, there can be no whitewashing.
No.
Every character is full-on Native American.
Outside of the feds, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very important that they get this right.
It's I don't know. It's mainly because I don't know,
You don't know the network?
that I have concerns.
Okay.
I want to say reservations. 'Cause
Well,
like if you were telling me like HBO or
Sure.
FX or something like that, I'd be like, okay, fine.
has WGN America done anything
I've
else
never
of note?
heard of them. I've like literally this story is the first time I ever heard of them.
Any shows that they've done that we might know?
See previous statement.
Oh, okay.
I've never.
I'm gonna maintain some hope for this project.
I honestly, personally, I've said this to you. I don't think it's going to see the light of day. I hope it does.
Sure,
because it's a story that holds a lot of relevance.
Yeah, totally.
Especially in the current world we live in today.
I think it would be huge if it comes to series and it makes air.
Yeah.
I think it would be huge. I think it would be a huge accomplishment. Just to have a
AMC,
series
this
led
would
by
do good on.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. But for representation for Native Americans in media and Hollywood and acting and all that in the profession and in the arts,
Yep.
this would be a big deal, and I'd like to see it go through.
All right,
and it's a great series. Do recommend it to everybody. I recommend just about anything Jason Aaron writes to anybody. To be honest with you,
man's good.
Yes,
man knows his stuff. All right, that wraps up news, and now we got a quick review for you.
This is a Daredevil themed show, after all.
Daredevil number 17 by Charles.
What do we want to say here? None of us have looked into this any deeper.
I tweeted the gentleman. I invited him on the show. Haven't heard back. I'm going to go with what Mr. Garney said.
Sewell.
Okay.
Charles
Sewell.
Sewell.
So written.
But in my head, It will always be
Sule.
Sule.
Written by Charles Soule, artist, friend of the show, returning to Daredevil, Mr. Ron Garney.
He's back in comic form.
In comic form. And color artist Matt Milla, who in the early pages of this issue did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right.
This is an issue we've been waiting for.
Well, we left off after our last Daredevil review. Matt was in the confessional, and he was going to relay the secret of how he got his secret identity back, because Matt's identity was public for a while there.
Yeah.
And now we are getting to our toes in the water of that story, how he put the genie back in the bottle.
We don't find out in this issue.
Not yet. Well,
we get a clue as to how it happened.
It's a cliffhanger.
There's a cliffhanger at the end.
But before we get there, okay, so I gotta say, man, I think I might have said on this show that I had some reservations about elements of the new Daredevil series that were a little weird.
Yeah.
To me, him being a district attorney versus being a lawyer. How in the hell he got his identity, swept back under the rug, the whole sidekick thing. But now I feel like, okay, you know what? That was the first 16 issue. Well, no, the Muse thing was a couple issues ago. So, okay, so the first year or so, we'll say, of the book was essentially setting the groundwork. Now it's time for all the payoffs and all of the, here is what we have set up, and now we're going to flick the dominoes and watch them fall.
Yeah.
So Blind Spot, for instance, that now has come to fruition, and it's affecting Matt in a very real way. The identity thing, the job thing, now that's going to start coming to light here too. So all those things that we were asking questions about, now it's game time.
Yeah.
Now it all matters.
So this issue kind of takes us back to San Francisco for a little bit, where Daredevil's identity is public. He is publicly Daredevil
because he was disbarred in New York.
Yeah, he's not an attorney in San Francisco because
he
said,
but he bailed.
If I'm an attorney, the case is always going to be about me.
Right.
It's not going to be about the clients. That's the most important thing. So he's not an attorney. He's Daredevil full time in the public eye. He's got Foggy with him. He's got
Kirsten McDuffie. His main squeeze.
McDuffie,
his new main squeeze.
His new main squeeze. Things seem to be going well, except for the fact that there's something bothering him that they can't quite put his finger on.
Matt finds out that he can't be Matt Murdock and Daredevil publicly.
Yeah.
He can't be lawyer by day, vigilante by night when everyone knows it. And go figure. He needs to do both. He can do both. But he can't do both if everyone knows he's the one doing both.
He realizes that when his identity was secret, he had something else that he could focus his energy on.
Right.
And he goes through like a list of other characters in the Marvel Universe.
This was a good...
Says Tony Stark has his research. Or no, Tony Stark has his companies. Black Widow has S.H.I.E.L.D. Even Bruce Banner had his research. And then the cherry he kind of puts on top of it is if you're just the hero 24/7, it becomes dangerous. And then he uses the example of the Punisher.
Yeah, no, I like that. And the actual quote, because a hero is not the word necessarily, he says, I think it's because doing this full time is dangerous. Perspective is important. You go in too deep, you might never come out, and it's superimposed over an image of the Punisher.
Yeah.
Firing 2 machine guns at you.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, it's a really awesome way of pointing out
That's a good observation.
You never really think about with these characters, in that they, with the exception of a few, Punisher, Batman,
those with public identities.
Yeah, you can't be the Mask 24/7. You've got to have something else.
You need a real life anchor.
Yeah,
you got to have a toe in the real world.
Yeah, you have to be among the people who you are protecting,
right?
In order to continue to understand them and yourself.
Yeah,
something I never really thought of with this, and
that's good. I'm with you. I never gave that much credence either, and like it never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And then here it is, and the example that he uses is like pitch perfect.
Yeah. I'm 39 years old.
Yeah.
I've been reading superhero comics since I was about 12. I think I have a solid grasp of the mythology, the philosophy, whatnot, whatever you want to categorize it as. It is rare that something kind of catches me off guard and surprises me, and that's what this issue did, and I love it.
Yeah.
So,
well, think about it. It's like all those people that cry and complain, like, man, why does Superman bother with a secret identity? Why does he just be Superman all the time?
He can't be Superman all the time.
He could, but at what cost?
Yeah.
He likes being Clark Kent. He likes being a person. He likes being around people.
Jonathan Martha Kent raised Clark Kent.
Right.
They did not raise Superman.
Correct.
Superman is a byproduct of Clark.
Right. And likewise here, Daredevil, vigilante by night and regular guy by day.
Yeah.
Well, as regular as you can be. But yeah, it gives him perspective. It gives him strength. It makes him normal in a very abnormal world.
We see here that he forgot his first passion is not being Daredevil.
No.
His first passion is the law.
Right.
Is
justice.
The legal system, justice. He fought against being Daredevil early on. And so now that he just has that, he's kind of a ship without an anchor.
Yep.
So, and then an old friend shows up.
Good old Typhoid Mary.
Yeah. Didn't he used to bang her?
He did.
Yeah.
Matt gets around.
Matt makes some bad decisions.
That's kind of his thing.
Yeah. So, because his identity is public, it's relatively easy now for the bad guys to find him.
Yeah, basically.
Typhoid Mary shows up, torches
Kirsten's house.
Kirsten's house.
Yeah.
And then they decide to go back to New York City.
Yep.
And then they get back to New York City, and they're like celebrity status.
Everyone knows who he is.
Paparazzi's around. Everyone knows who he is. He's back in New York City. And we have a welcome return, as you're on the same page that I am.
The red costume.
Matt gets back in his classic red costume.
It's always good to see.
Just gets back into the city.
And he even says he's home.
Yeah.
Feels like home.
Reacquainting himself with the city. Busts Tombstone. Spider-Man fans will know Tombstone.
He goes right back to work, busting up goons.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he finds out that because of his identity being public, the goons want to sue him. And they can. Because technically...
Well, no, it's like he wants to, because he busts Tombstone, and then he goes to the DA's office and says, because we know I am who I am, I can now support you with like witness testimony and a full statement. He's like, and the DA is like, you assaulted a man, you apprehended him illegally outside the confines of the law. Your presence will do nothing for this case.
Right.
And he's now confronted with the fact that yes, he can stop these criminals now, but he is no longer effective as a crime fighter.
Basically.
Yeah.
So he needs to put the genie back in the bottle.
Yes.
And he's trying to figure out, how am I going to do that exactly?
He takes a very familiar path for those of you who are Spider-Man fans and are familiar with the unfortunate story, One More Day, in which Spider-Man needs to find a way to save Aunt May from a gunshot wound from an assassin.
She's like 90, Pete. Let her go.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
And goes everywhere, all around the Marvel Universe. But yeah, Matt's kind of going the same route. He goes see Doctor Strange. He goes see Silver Surfer. He goes see Emma Frost. He's going to people with power who can possibly restore his secret identity.
Right.
They all refuse him.
Yep.
He goes to
Damon Hellstrom.
Yes, the biological son of Satan.
That's correct.
And we have an allusion here to
like this.
the One More Day storyline.
Hellstrom says, I can't do it, but I know a guy who might be able to pull that off. And Matt questions Mephisto. And, Hellstrom says, yeah, he's done this sort of thing before. And Matt says, no, I'm not that desperate.
Not that desperate.
That's cute.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Take that, Dan Slott. Anyway.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Dan Slott didn't. That was Straczynski.
Was it really?
And he wrote that under protest. He's like,
okay.
I'll write it because I'm contractually obligated to write it.
Okay, correction. Take that, Joe Quesada.
Yes, there you go. There's where the blame lies.
Okay.
Matt has had dealings with Mephisto in the past, though, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. It's been a while, but yeah, in fact,
that was like back in the Romita Jr. days, wasn't it?
I think so. I might even have a book or two with those crossovers happening. We might have to look into this further.
Yeah.
I'll go into my archives.
So Matt doesn't find anything that's helping him out, and which brings us to the end of the issue where he gets a knock on his door. They move back to San Francisco.
Yep.
He gets a knock on his door, and it's the Purple Kids.
Two of the Purple Kids.
Which are the children of Kilgrave, the Purple Man. Those of you of Jessica Jones fandom definitely know who the Purple Man is, know who Kilgrave is. He's the guy that can make you do anything with but a word. And it was in the Mark Waid run where they established like the Purple Kids.
Yeah, for the Mark Waid run, for a series that looked as bright and cheery and it was trying to be as bright and cheery as it was, that Purple Kids run arc is pretty dark.
Yeah.
The kids are all byproducts of like Kilgrave's commanding words on women.
Yep.
So these kids find out about that and they're
not happy.
No, they make Kilgrave step in front of a bus.
Yep.
It's pretty dark. It's grim stuff. Anyway,
so
but the kids too have the powers.
Yes.
To make people do what they want.
The more there are of them,
the more powerful
in close proximity to each other,
Yes.
the more powerful they are. So I think we're kind of getting a bit of an inkling as to how this got done. But this was a great issue.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the issues to come. Daredevil is probably the best Marvel comic I'm currently reading right now.
Let me think about that for a minute. It is up there. I'm enjoying Unworthy Thor right now, so it's
you've said that's
Jason Aaron book.
So.
But yeah, no, Daredevil is easily one of the best Marvel books on the shelf, hands down. As we talked about with Mr. Garney, it kind of it's in its own little corner. You don't got to worry about the other stuff. You don't got to worry about crossovers and nonsense. Daredevil exists on his own, and like I said, now it's starting to really pick up. Everything that's been set up, now it's time to knock it down, or at least explain how it got set up, which is great. It's adding context to everything. And that Kilgrave turn, not for nothing, but that's a pretty genius little turn there. There's some good stuff in this book.
Good.
Tip of the cap to Mr. Sewell here.
Good. Love it. Can't wait for the next issue.
Yes.
So yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Now, finally,
after a couple weeks,
I know. Things happen, man. Life happens.
It's time to rustle them papers and discuss the season finale of
This is it.
Luke Cage.
This is the end.
I have very sparse notes.
Me too.
I mean, like sparse.
Oh, yours are even more sparse than me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this won't take that long. Then.
So
maybe it will. We'll see.
Episode 13. You know my steez.
Okay. So immediate observation, just because we can check these things now when you pull up Netflix. For being the last episode, it is short.
Yeah. Well, because most of it's just the fight.
Right. But think about that.
There's really not a lot to be said at this point.
A couple episodes ago, we had like an hour and 10-minute episode or whatever, and it was like, it felt it too at a certain point. You're like, damn, this is getting long. Here we got it. We're just wrapping her up.
45 minutes.
Wrap her up.
Yeah. We get the fight.
Okay.
We get some fallout from the fight and some setup from the next season.
Yeah. More or less.
Like all the pieces are on the board for at the end of this episode. All the pieces are on the board for
whatever comes next. I guess
Luke Cage season 2. I would say more Luke Cage season 2 than Defenders, because I don't think a lot of these antagonists are going to factor into Defenders a lot.
No,
like I don't think I think it'd be cool if we did, but I don't think we're going to see Mariah and Shades in Defenders. We're not even going to see Wilson Fisk in Defenders.
No,
which is disappointing.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Then again, I didn't know he was going to be in Daredevil season 2 either. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. So right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But there are references to a certain someone in the Defenders that.
Yes, there was another opportunity for a Matt cameo in this episode, and you know what? You can argue.
Go on.
The bad guys won this season.
They did. They definitely did.
Because at the end of the day, who's left standing? Luke is headed back to jail.
Yeah.
Mariah's got Harlem Paradise again. She's been cleared of murder charges. Shades is back.
Yep.
Cops don't seem too eager to arrest him. So in an odd turn, the bad guys won this show.
They sure did. But Luke did win a moral victory, if there is such a thing here.
Yeah.
He fought for the people.
He did.
They rallied around him.
That speech he gave at the police station.
Well,
Harlem.
there is that speech.
I'm not going to lie. Got me a little misty-eyed.
He's misty-eyed. See what you did there. Yes, but he does the speech. It's good.
Yeah.
Little melodramatic here.
No, I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
It's what he summed up in that speech what the show was trying to be.
Sure.
All 13 episodes and whatnot. He summed up what the show was trying to say.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Let's jump back. Let's get kind of back to the beginning now with the fight.
Okay.
It's a good fight.
It's a good fight.
Good fight.
Bringing
in the old rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope. And we got some flashback.
Yes.
Question about not question, more of an observation.
Okay.
Unless they're going to be like kids, they shouldn't have done this flashback. I only say that because these actors don't look much like Luke and Diamondback.
Yeah.
And they're old enough to where it's just like, they don't really look like that.
I didn't mind it.
I got it.
Yeah.
But,
But
it's not. There's a little. It's just one of those little nitpicky things, I guess.
Yeah.
I understand it's a flashback, but they're grown ass men in this flashback, and it's not Michael Coulter and
that's true.
Michael Coulter, right? He's the gentleman who plays Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I get the names right. Yeah. Anyway, we do get some background on them. Because it's been alluded to, and we know that they're brothers, but we didn't, see much of that in the church scenes when Luke goes back to Dad's church and all that business. So now we see them as young men, and Luke is done with football, and he's not much of a boxer at first.
No.
Diamondback, however, is.
Yes, Diamondback's training him.
That's correct.
And we see that back and forth between the flashbacks and the current fight. This is the first. When you think about it, this is the first publicly witnessed superhero, supervillain fight
on the street,
on the street in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that people are actually kind of stopping to watch.
Okay, yeah, because I was going to say the incident happens.
Avengers, people are
getting
running
the hell out of there. Yeah,
and it's happening all over the city, so you don't necessarily see the Avengers. This is just knockdown, drag out, good old fashioned. 60s, 70s Marvel superhero, supervillain fight.
We throwing down in the streets here. Yeah. And people are like interjecting about Luke's mama and all that. Dude,
talking about your mama.
Stand back. These guys are going at each other here.
Yeah. So, and we see the Hammer Tech suit.
Yeah.
In action. But yeah, this fight's about half the episode,
roughly.
Yeah.
And for most of it, not for nothing, Luke kind of gets whooped.
Yeah, Luke's taking a licking, but then he figures out, again, rope-a-dope, let him tire himself out, and then just...
Oh, he's all tuckered out looking. Yeah, and, people get to see the what a drag-out brawl between two superpowered guys looks like. So, cars are getting flattened.
Yeah.
Windows are getting broken.
Yep.
Things are getting busted
Poor
up.
Pops' shop.
Oh, Pops' shop. Not no more.
No.
Roughed up good.
Throwing him through the ceiling.
Yeah.
Going out the window.
Yeah.
It's a good fight.
It's a good fight. I kept wondering why Luke didn't just punch him in the exposed teeth, but alas.
No. It's not always easy to get a shot in there.
I guess not.
A very street brawl style fight. This is not what we are used to seeing in the Netflix Marvel Universe. Obviously, Daredevil is kind of a mishmash of boxing and
ninjutsu.
Martial arts.
Sure.
Ninjutsu. So those are always kind of more stylized fights.
Right.
Not a lot of fighting in Jessica Jones.
No.
This one is just good old-fashioned knuckles on concrete street brawl.
That sums it up.
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of each other with fists.
Yep.
This is fisticuffs to a T.
So after the fight's done, Misty,
Luke wins, by the way.
Yeah, Luke wins because good guys got to win. Misty arrests Mariah.
Yeah.
And when Mariah's in custody, we see her kind of starting to crack a little bit. But even in her cracking just a little bit, she still manages to put on a show.
She cracked for about 1 second, and then she put the show face on.
Yeah.
And then it was game time. And she's smooth, man.
She is smooth. Again, this being my second watch through of this season, she's been the character that I enjoyed the most.
She's definitely evolved the most.
Yeah.
She has gone from
great
public
villain.
Yeah. Fully succumbing to the dark side, basically.
Yeah.
She's full heel turn.
Yep.
Essentially.
Oh.
She was teetering. She got there.
Yeah.
Now here's my question, though. Not a question, it's just an observation. I mean, after Misty comes in, right?
Right.
And drops the big bomb on the forensics and all the information that they have on Cottonmouth dying, which is why they arrested Mariah. They had her on the murder of Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
Granted, they had eyewitness testimony, which we'll get to in a second, that doesn't pan out, unfortunately. But even without that testimony, they had all that forensic information, and they still couldn't arrest her. They couldn't charge her with anything. Man,
I had that same.
I feel like you've got it.
No.
Something. Don't just let her go.
No, I get it. I had that same thought until later in the episode. Misty kind of walks Luke and Claire through why.
Don't forget
they
Claire,
had to let her
man.
go. I know. Kind of walks them through why they had to let him go, and it's one of those things that I think a lot of times people forget how the legal system actually works.
Yeah.
Like is legitimately supposed to work, in that the burden of proof lies on the prosecution.
Fair enough. I thought
The defense does not have to prove Mariah didn't do anything.
Right.
They only have to prove it is a possibility that she did not do anything.
Sure.
And
It's
as they're walking them through it, and it's like you see all the time with these court cases that people get outraged about the outcomes on, when it's clear that the person, according to what people have read on Facebook, it's clear that the person is guilty. I'm like, you don't understand how the legal system works.
Doesn't make it right.
The prosecution has to fight a perfect match. The
Yeah.
defense just has to parry one or two blows.
Yeah. Well, she gets away because Shades kills Candace,
Yes.
who was Misty's point of contact,
Yeah.
who saw Mariah kill Diamondback or Cottonmouth.
With Candace, there's no room for reasonable doubt.
Right.
Without Candace, like Misty said, she changed her statement. She took money from Mariah.
She's compromised. And now she's dead.
Yeah, that's
So her
enough
testimony's worthless.
to create reasonable doubt. That's all you have to create is reasonable doubt.
I gotta tell you, man, like from a show standpoint, I feel the most bad for Misty.
Yeah.
Her whole world, that everything she believes in, effectively like blew up
Started
on
the
her.
show, she was a top cop. Now, although, did you notice when she shows up at Harlem's Paradise at the end?
Oh, I noticed.
Classic Misty
I
comic
noticed.
appearance.
Yes, sir. And
red top with the shoulders exposed.
Mighty fine, by the way. Let's put that out there. I think my notes I actually wrote, "Damn, Misty," and yes, I did. That's exactly what I wrote. Yeah. And speaking of comic references, I think you might have pointed this out to me before as well, and I missed it, but I caught it this time. Claire walks by the telephone pole, and she takes the little self-defense pull tap. Colleen Wing.
Yes, we will meet in Iron Fist.
Oh, let's see. It all comes together. Look at all this coming together. Unfortunately, Luke, man, goes back to jail.
Yeah. And it's not.
They got him. They got him from escaping Seagate.
Yeah.
The Carl Lucas situation.
So it's a legitimate reason for, you were convicted.
Yep.
You went to jail and then you broke out illegally. So technically.
And they did it right before coffee time with Claire.
Oh, man. But that kiss, man, that kiss was savage.
There was going to be coffee. Coffee was going to be had.
They inhaled each other.
Well,
that kiss.
Have you seen?
There's like some biting going on. And
have you seen Claire? Come on, man. Anyway, but there is a silver lining.
Yes.
Number one, Claire makes sure to tell Luke, let me call my lawyer friend.
And this time
he's
Luke,
good.
And this time Luke is like, okay, call him.
Yeah, please call him.
She said it earlier.
Right.
And he was like, no, I'm going to set the record straight. One
Right.
I was like, you should have gotten.
You should have had Matt there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least Foggy. Get Foggy.
Yeah, somebody from someone from the offices of Nelson and Murdoch should have been there.
Yes.
Well, they'll get there. Second, and I missed this the first time I watched the show, and I caught it this time. What does Bobby Fish find in Pop's place?
The file.
He finds the Carl Lucas file.
Yep.
That probably exonerates him, or at the very least clarifies his situation to some degree.
I think we will. I don't think the whole Luke Cage being innocent man who's convicted guilty story is really going to carry over much into
Defenders?
Luke Cage season 2. I think they'll resolve it
in Defenders
fairly early on in Defenders.
Oh, okay.
And then just kind of move on from there.
All right.
So do you think
interesting.
They said Fish said that this place just doesn't want to be a barbershop anymore. Do you think that's kind of going to become Claire's night nurse location
in Harlem?
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe. I don't know. It seems like she should be more centrally located. I'm thinking Midtown.
All right.
Granted, real estate's pricey in there, but still,
yep,
that would be a good hub for her.
So yeah,
if Matt needs help, dude, it's you're talking 80 blocks from Hell's Kitchen to Harlem. So
yeah. I think the character that went on the biggest journey in this episode was definitely Misty.
Yeah, well, in the show, arguably,
she is confronted by whether or not she still believes in the system.
Right. She is shaken to the core, essentially.
Yeah. So, I think in Defenders, we might see a move away from Detective Misty Knight to Private Investigator Misty Knight. So yeah,
that puts a bow on Luke Cage, man.
That puts a bow on Luke Cage. Thoughts on the series second time through?
Same criticisms I had that we've talked about on this show as the first time I watched it, which is the first half feels like a different show than the second half.
Pacing issues,
and then just again the Cottonmouth thing. I really just feel like we got there with Mariah in the end because of it, but I just feel like that could have gone differently.
Yeah, I think the show was at its weakest point when they brought the whole Judas bullet in. Luke got shot. That 2 or 3 episode stint.
Yeah,
they were in Georgia. That's where, but these past couple episodes kind of got back to that first part of the season feel
a little bit.
Overall, I think the show's great. I think it's the show that it's one thing we need right now, especially in the. It's like the girl said on the interview with the reporter. Who would have thought that a black man in a hoodie could be a hero?
Right.
And that's what the show was trying to
and it
display. And
it succeeded
fantastically.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
No, I liked it. Was very good. These Netflix shows, man, they're not. None of them are bad.
Yeah.
Marvel's standard is very high. So, again. Yeah. Big old credit line with Marvel, and they keep doing good work.
And as with Daredevil, as with Jessica Jones, I kind of like being in this Marvel world a little more than the cinematic world.
I don't know. Things seem a lot bleaker in this Marvel world.
Not necessarily, but yes, sometimes it does seem a little bleaker.
Yeah,
but that makes the hope that much easier to see.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's like we've said, we share an affinity for the street levels.
I definitely do.
So
Punisher, Daredevil, those kind of characters are just easier to relate to.
yeah,
Well, Daredevil, Punisher's hard to relate to. Then again, he does appeal to a very base instinct in all of us in a way. So that's why he continues to persevere.
So yeah,
anyway,
we will again. Dear listeners, please respond to the survey. Let us know what you want us to do next.
We're at a crossroads.
Do you want us to do Daredevil Season 2? Do you want us to do Iron Fist when it comes out? Do a couple one-off shows and then do Iron Fist. Please go to our Twitter at Devils Do Pod and take the survey, or you can find us at facebook.com/DevilsDoPod.
Let us know your thoughts there.
Let us know the thoughts there, or email us what you would like us to do next at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com. Again, all these resources can be found on our website, thedevilsdopodcast.com. So that brings to a conclusion Luke Cage. Next week is, regardless of the outcome of the survey, we're probably going to leave the survey up there for about a week. Next week will probably be a one-off episode. Not quite sure what we'll do for that. We'll have something fun for you.
There's a certain, there is another Daredevil movie out there that we could maybe tackle head on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's there.
Do you have the director's cut?
I do.
Do you want to do a commentary, or do you just want to do what we did with
a commentary is the commentary is a tall order. We'll feel it out.
All right.
But I think that's going to come into play.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
There you go. Little sneak peek at next week.
Yeah. That being said, folks, thank you again for joining us. We very much appreciate it. As always, please get the word out about the show. Share the episode postings. Retweet them. Share them. Please give us reviews on iTunes. The show's available on iTunes or Google Play. You can stream it from our website, but please help us get a word out about the show.
Helps us help you.
Yes. All right. That being said, court is adjourned.